The first is blind, the second did not survive, the third is deaf, and the fourth also has TB. The mother finds she's pregnant again. Given the circumstances, should she consider terminating this pregnancy? A white man raped a 13-year-old black girl and she became pregnant. Should she be expected to carry and give birth to this child? An unmarried teenage girl is pregnant. Her fiancé is not the father of the unborn baby and he is upset. Terminating this pregnancy would allow the couple to continue with their life plan. Think for a moment about each of these scenarios. What would you do? Now, what if I were to tell you that the family who already had 4 children would give birth to Ludwig van Beethoven, one of the world's greatest composers? Then what if I were to tell you that the girl who was raped would give birth to Ethel Waters, the great black gospel singer? Finally, consider that the unmarried teenage girl engaged to a man who is not the father of her unborn child would give birth to perhaps the most influential man ever to live, Jesus Christ. Abortion has been a practice for hundreds of years, although it was only legalized in the United States 40 years ago. Many in our country may be misinformed or uninformed about what an abortion entails and how an unborn life develops. Over 1 million children were killed last year due to abortion. Children who were never given a chance at life, a chance to make a difference in the world. It is our job to use our constitutional rights to help stop this. Lexi Fritz knew there was trouble with her baby. She was going into labor only 19 weeks into her pregnancy, only half the time of a normal gestation. At 9:42 that night, Lexi gave birth to her son, Walter. Lexi remembers, "He was fully formed and everything was there. I could see his heart beating in his tiny chest." End quote. Walter only survived a few short minutes before passing away. Abortion is legal until 24 weeks in more than half of the 50 states, and in some even until 28. Babies have been born at 24 weeks and gone on to live full lives. Why is it legal to kill a baby at 24 weeks before he is born, but not at 24 weeks after he's been born? Although Walter lived a very short life, he made an immense impact on the world. Walter proved that he was a person. So if not abortion, what is the answer to unwanted or unplanned pregnancy? Adoption instead of abortion is a real and worthwhile option. Gianna Jessen, an abortion survivor, can attest to that. Her mother was pregnant at 17. When she was 7.5 months pregnant, she went to an abortion clinic to have a saline abortion. To explain, a saline abortion can only be done 16 weeks into the pregnancy or later. The amniotic fluid is removed from a mother's amniotic cavity and replaced with a saline solution. The baby then swallows the solution, is poisoned, and burned. 24 hours later, the mother delivers a dead baby. However, in Gianna's case, she was delivered alive, weighing only 2 pounds and with cerebral palsy. "I did not die that day," Jessen says. "I was delivered alive at a Los Angeles County abortion clinic in a room full of teenage girls who had already had the saline injections and were feeling their children die inside of them." End quote. Jessen was adopted herself and is now a huge advocate for adoption. She was given a chance at life, a chance that everyone deserves. Jessen says, "I totally believe that the Lord Jesus spared my life, and I would not be walking today if it were not for the grace of God and the power of Christ." End quote. Adoption instead of abortion is a real and logical option for mothers carrying unwanted children. The Adoption RI website states, "Adopting an infant often involves a long wait and considerable fees." End quote. Many people want to adopt infants, but are forced to wait years. Over 1 million babies were aborted last year. What would happen if that number referred to 1 million babies adopted? The world would be changed. In conclusion, we have the right to protest and change what we do not believe in. We have the power to help stop abortion using the rights given to us in the U.S. Constitution. The Declaration of Independence states, "All men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life." End quote. Lexi Fritz was able to use the tragedy of her son to help save countless unborn lives. Gianna Jessen survived the attempted abortion and uses that miracle to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. Remember the scenarios from the beginning of my speech? What would the world be like if Beethoven or Ethel Waters had never been born? What if Jesus had never lived? We have the power to save countless lives, perhaps the life of a future president, or the person who will find a cure for cancer. Everyone has a right to life, a right to live. As the famous author Theodore Seuss Geisel, also known as Dr. Seuss, once wrote, "A person's a person, no matter how small."